This is the Johnny and Mac Show. This is Johnny and Mac Radio Show. Yeah. We're serving all over the United States and America. We're out of Clearfield, Layton, Salt Lake City, all the areas of Wasatch Front, out of Utah. And we're broadcasting live, and this is our recording from on our previous station around the world, and either way, for our sister station we had on here before, and even on this current station we're doing right here and live what I'm saying. Today's topic we're doing today, this is Johnny, and I'm talking about, yeah. And I'm talking about, look at what I'm talking about. We're talking about a topic today to, CB radios and ham radios included. And what do you think about it? I say, yeah. Hey, Mac, you there? Yeah, this is Mac. I'm here on this radio show, yeah. So, I got a question to you, Mac. This is Johnny, and I'm talking about that. What is a good thing about CB radios? Do they actually help in emergencies and stuff like that? Do you actually own one, Mac? Yeah, this is Mac. Yeah, I do own a CB radio. Yeah, I used to have them back in my day, back in the old days. Back in the 1970s, when I was having around that time in 75, in between 79. And the CB radios came out pretty quite good. There were like ones with 23 channelers, and there was one with 40 channelers. But they used to be licensed before 1975, 1973, and all that. Yeah, this is Johnny. Yeah, but your CB radio, what you did during the day? How many radios do you own? Me, I own, a Radio Shack TRC 452, and I had some back in the 90s during that time. For me, Johnny, this is me. I'm talking about Johnny. Yeah, that's me, Johnny. I'm telling you, like, I own a lot of CB radios that time. We always had trucker channels during that time. This is Johnny. But then you had the Super Bowl channel called Channel 6 that's still been going on and all those things. And it's still useful today. So, Mac, what do you do with you still own CB radios? Yeah, this is Mac. Yeah, this is Mac. Yeah, I do own several CB radios. I use them for the trucker channels when I go talk to the truckers in my local areas, when I go around my areas throughout Utah, when I go down to other parts of the states I usually go to, like Nevada, Wyoming, Colorado, and all those areas, and Arizona. And that's what I'm saying. This is Mac. So, yeah, they're really quite good for emergency. They can actually help you get around the areas on the road and all that kind of stuff. Mostly a lot of truckers out of a truck stop. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying about that. And then usually we talk, and also what I'm saying. And about it, hey Johnny, I got a question to you. This is Mac. You own any ham radios? How about that? You own any ham radios in your lifetime? This is Johnny, yeah. I own several ham radios in my lifetime. Like USU Type 101B. I had several of those. I had one of those that came out in 1975. They were really good ham radios back in the day. They can go from 160 meters down to 11 meters of what they do. Ham radios are very quite good to look into. This is Johnny. They actually hit further distance. I have heard radio contacts from New Zealand, Australia, Norway. I've heard other places all over in the United States and America. I've heard people all the way from Florida and Maryland and New York and Chicago and all that stuff. And I'm telling you, this is Johnny. And they're very good. But yeah, I'm telling you, Mac, how about you own any other radios besides ham radios in that kind of lifetime your era? Yeah, this is Mac. Yeah, I own several, radios like shortwave radios. They actually like the world bands. You can listen on to those things and quite good and all that. But yeah, the CB is quite good. I'm just telling you like that. And the ham radio. Yeah, I actually had some hams before. I actually had my first one with ICOM 1000, I think it was. But the ICOMs are pretty quite good. They have like digital displays on them, and you can actually, the new ones, you have the digital display and all that stuff. You can do all kinds of tones and all that stuff. But they're really quite good for emergencies and stuff like that. And that's what I'm saying, like that, all that. Yeah, this is Johnny. What is the basics you do on a ham radio? What are they good for? Like, what do you usually do? What do you do? What I mean? Telling you, Mac. Yeah, this is Mac. Yeah. The several things you got to do on those kind of ham radios. They have a lot of call nets and stuff like that. They have the hurricane net. Those for emergencies when you have disasters. Then you can probably listen for stuff like that. They got one called the maritime net. It's been around since 1960, I think it is. Maritime net's like they can contact all the way from Utah. They can go all the way down to parts of the United States down toward Florida and all those areas. The maritime net is probably for boaters and probably some other things like that for emergency communication. Or they usually take in call nets for visitors and all that stuff. And there's a lot of things on that quite good on the CB and ham radios, but on ham you can get further distance. You have to get a license for those ham radios completely. Then you can take a technician course, an advanced course, and a general class and all that stuff. They usually like you go look on the websites and on that and do research on these things, but they're really quite good when your cell phones go down. When they go down, believe me, these radios are operational and all that. But you can use, besides ham radios, you can do, they actually use shortwave radios too. You can listen to music on the radio too. They actually have one sometimes, once in a while. But I'll tell you, I'm saying to you, Johnny. Yeah, this is Johnny. Yeah, I own several CB hams and stuff like that. I'm telling you, this is Johnny. But I'm talking about, yeah, like you're right about that, Mac. They're good for several emergencies and stuff like that, in case of communications of all kinds of stuff, like in case of natural snowstorms, disasters, tornadoes, you name it, man. I'm talking about like that. Because back in my day, when I used to have a CB radio back in during the in the mid-90s, they saved my life avoiding drive-by shootings in those areas when I lived in down in Florida, because it was pretty bad back in my day during the time. But yeah, because I used to have a big giant base station, about 50 foot on a pole, and it was like one of those type antennas. It was like a Navajo type radio, pretty quite good. Probably one of those TRC 492s, what it is, what they had back then with the green displays and red displays and all that stuff. But yeah, you can talk on these things quite good. Believe me, if anybody's out there listening, this is Johnny. I recommend you guys and gals and all that I'm saying, and women and men out there, get yourself a CB radio. You don't know what you need. But there's also, besides something, other CB radios I have to tell you about a question about, to you, Mac. You actually owning an FRS radio, GMRS radios and stuff like that. They actually are called Family Radio Service. That's what they're called. And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, this is Mac. Yeah, I own several FRS radios, Motorola's and stuff like that. You can buy them at Home Depot, Dick's Sporting Goods, probably Cabela's, Walmart, and all that stuff. Yeah, they put out pretty quite good distance and stuff like that. This is Mac. Yeah, and I'm just saying, like, they are like Family Radio Service. They're very good for anybody to have for work, school. You can walk around the store with them. You can talk on there. They're good for hiking trails around the areas in the Wasatch Front, even going up into the mountains with it. They're pretty good communication if you don't have any cell phone services in those areas. And I'm telling you, FRS is a very clean audio base. I've talked to them before. I mean, it's free to air service. You can talk on it. On GMRS, you might need a license and all that, which is no big deal. You can look it all up on the web on the internet. But the FRS is like you can have your children using them. You can go down, take driving trips to Zion's National Park and all that stuff. This is definitely, I'm saying, this is Mac, and I'm telling you, yeah. I'm telling you, like, yeah. I've done it very, very once in a while when I go down there to the Arches National Park, use my FRS radios and talk on them when we walk around and hike and chill. Me and my kids, we used to go walk around, that kind of thing like that. Yeah, they're good basic radios, but you can also make them look quite cool with them. But I recommend the Motorola's, Midlands, and all that stuff. Check your local Walmart and stuff like that. So you got girls and women out there, and men and boys out there, get one of these radios. It's good for your church gatherings, good for anything for campgrounds, family day outings, and reunions. But you don't understand, this is Mac. Yeah, you don't know when your cell phone communications go out, you need radio. You need radio for sure. And tell me like that. Even an FM radio you need, and a shortwave radio, because in case TVs go down and all that stuff, you don't know when the world can happen that way. Like, but they actually had a solar flare back in the 1800s here before, knocked out the telegram lines before. In those days, you don't know, but they're good for disasters, man. I'm talking about like that. I feel sorry for those people in California when those wildfires were happening several months ago. This is recorded on today on December 19, 2018. This is Mac. So bring it back to you, Johnny. Yeah, this is Johnny. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's right, man. That's right, Mac. You need some radio communication in case of emergencies and stuff like that, but you can use it anytime you want. Like FRS radios are famous basic radio service, and I'm telling you, they've been around since the 1990s. Which they're like the old ones used to sell was Radio Shack when they first came out during the time and all that stuff. Radio Shack is a good brand name. Motorola, Midland, and other ones you can get. There's several different type brand names of FRS radios you can recommend to get. And this is what we're talking about this on our show today and all that stuff. But yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm talking about radios, and you gotta look up the frequencies like that for your FRS radios and all that stuff. I'm just telling you, Mac, like, how long you have have you actually used FRS radios on places during the theme parks where you actually have been to? Just want to ask you about that to you, Mac. Yeah, this is Mac. Yeah, I have used my FRS radios with my kids when I went to Disney World and Disneyland. In California and all that kind of stuff down in that area, Southern California. We done it that way. We walked it down the beaches there too in Southern Cal, in that kind of area, like Los Angeles, San Diego, in all those areas. We actually have done those areas. We have done that with FRS radios and GMRS, as other people actually have. But I actually have heard several people down in California and all that. Yeah, I was talking to a guy on the radio once and like that, talking about basic things. He was actually playing volleyball on the beach and doing some workout and stuff, and also he was fishing outside on the water and stuff like that. Yeah, he was telling me, because he's actually a local Californian that lived down there, he went through the Los Angeles earthquake back in I think the Northbridge earthquake in 1994 it was, and he used these FRS. He used CB radio back then, and during that time when he called his friends on the radio, and I had because when it was when the area got knocked out, the power for at least a couple of weeks and stuff like that, and he used it during the time when the telephones went down. But yeah, this is Mac, but I recommend all you out there, for your hunters, for your wives and husbands out there and your family and children. Get them some radios for Christmas when you have some time. Get them some of those FRS radio. It's free to use. Or if you want to use a CB radio, get one of those 40 channels or 23. Doesn't matter. It's brand new or old. This is Mac, and I'm talking about like that. Telling you, Johnny. What kind of recommended radios you should recommend for those kind of people out there for beginners? This is Mac. Yeah. Well. Okay, this is Johnny. Yeah. The radio I recommend for all beginners, for CBers, look into Radio Shack, Midland Radios, and Cobras. Cobras are really quite good. I think the newest one out there from they have the Cobra 29. They have a lot of that, and the Bearcat radios you can get. The Bearcat 99, I think is the 880 type radio, and also you can look for there's also 880 S model, because that's usually made for sideband and all that stuff. 'Cause, you know, they have sideband on CB radios. You can talk to skippers around the world and stuff like that in your area, and you can get further out during that time. I'm telling you, Mac. I recommend them to get sideband radios and other stuff. What kind of CB radios you actually have been seeing down in where you've been going through during for the travel for the last 4 months going through Utah? I'm talking about here in our state. I'm talking about telling you, Mac. Yeah, this is Mac. Yeah, I've been traveling through the states and during Utah, like going down the roadways and stuff like that. Yeah, I checked local truck stops and all that area, and Walmart and stuff like that. I've seen Cobras. They got that new Cobra 29 LTTT, but it's pretty good. But I recommend to get the Cobra radios, and they got the Union type radios and stuff like that. They have 40 channels, a lot of them new ones right now. I recommend getting an antenna like a Wilson. A Wilson 1000 is a great one for accessories you can buy. Look into one of those static type microphones and stuff like that, or a superstar mic like DM452 for an echo mic and stuff like that. You can get on the air quite quickly. You can talk to those cool truck drivers. They'll give you all the information. I'm doing that. This is Mac. And basically, you can use the 1010 codes. You can learn on YouTube videos. You can learn all about the CB radio, the 1010 codes, like 10.4, what's your 1020 location, and 10.4 is like okay, that's what you do, and 10.10.10 is usually standby on the side. You can say that. Mostly, that's all you need to say on the radio. But don't say good buddy on the radio like you don't want to do that. I know, man. This is Mac. The only thing you gotta watch out when you're in trucker stops, you gotta be careful, like the lot lizards, like people talk about on the YouTube channels I've seen. I'm not gonna get into detail about that, but you'll learn. Just look it up on YouTube what they mean. Be careful of those lot lizards out there. I've seen several things on that, but I ain't gonna get in detail about the lot lizards because a lot of the truckers will tell you what the lot lizards are and all that stuff. They're pretty quite cool guys. And also, when you do your CB radios for the first time, you can go through other channels and stuff, but don't go to channel 9, but only in case of an emergency, only for that. And I'm telling you like that to all your buddies out there, people, listeners out there, you listen to this radio out there, on the Wasatch Front up here in Utah, over in that area between Clearfield and Layton, and throughout the Salt Lake City valleys, and all around those surrounding areas, going all the way up to Logan, and all the way up in that area. But this is Mac, and I'm telling you for all you guys out there. Yeah, you gotta do a radio check, like you could say like that. Just do a radio check on the radio, or just tell them driver and stuff like that. They'll talk to you. Truckers are quite respectful and all that. But yeah, they usually talk on there all the time when we go through the state of Utah, down the roadways, and there's lots of people in my area, tons of them. So I'm telling you, Johnny. I'm just telling you, Johnny. So have you had any luck with your CB radio and your FRS and ham radio tool? Yeah, this is Johnny. I lost several months for contacts listening on ham radio all the way from South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee, and I heard some guys from Missouri and Montana and all those areas. I have heard lots of talkers on that. I heard QSO type nets like call nets and stuff like that. I have heard the Beehive net. I have heard all those on the ham radio stuff like that. And actually the Oregon net type areas too on the West Coast. Yeah, you get the guys on the weekends that usually talk out there to try to get DX type contests on ham radio. I've heard before. And when they're doing like the DX contests, you can hear them like, and when they say like, this is W555, this is Johnny coming out from Southern California. I'm down in Southern California. I'm just talking about like that. They usually say like Sierra Charlie. And usually say that in Southern California sometimes a lot. Sometimes you hear guys say, this is Radio Norway and stuff like that, or this is Radio something like Florida, something like that. They usually go like that, or they usually go like, this is Bravo, Alpha, Charlie, Tango, and Sierra. They usually go like that, but if anybody wants to look into ham radio, just go look at all about it. And they have a lot of stuff like on QRZ. I think .com it is, QRZ, look up QRZ, and look up ARL.org or something like that. They have all that stuff on the information on ham radios and stuff like that. You can go from 160 meters down to all the way down to 10 meters, I think that's the lowest is. But CB radio is usually on 11 meters, I think it is. And CB radio is the best thing to have for all beginners. And this is Johnny, like, yeah. I'm talking about, yeah, that's what you gotta do. I'm talking about like that, and I'm saying like that. So Mac, I'm telling you, pretty man. What's the range on the CB radios you actually have to have pick up people on your behalf when you're ready to still use them? Yeah, this is Mac. Yeah, I picked up ranges on my mobile rigs type. I usually have like a TRC 485. Usually my mobile rig I picked up on that on my Radio Shack and my Cobra 129, my Cobra 29, stuff like that. I picked up guys about 5-10 miles away, at least sometimes a mile away, sometimes 2 miles away, on going down the interstates and all that. And I picked up a lot of guys on that, and several base stations in my area too. They go at least about 20 to 30 miles out. Sometimes they go at least 40 miles out. And I got a good skip on one day when I talked to a guy down in Arizona on one of these days down in Phoenix. Some local guys on that. I'm going to tell you something about that to you, Johnny. This is Mac. I recommend to look at a YouTube channel called CB Show and Tell. It's a guy that introduces child about CB radios, all about CB radios he knows. I think he's out of the Carolinas. I think that's where he's at somewhere. He's talked to several skippers. He actually is a cool guy that actually has tons of pictures on his Facebook fans. They show CB radios, ham radios every week. Every week. This is Mick. I'm telling you, Johnny, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, this is Johnny. Yeah, he shows pictures of every week. Oh, I might have to check that out, man. Thanks about that. I'll have to check out CB Show and Tell. Okay. What does CB Show and Tell do, Mac? What do you actually see a lot of interesting thing on him on his YouTube channel? Oh yeah, this is Mac. Yeah, I've seen a lot of interesting stuff. He's talking about skips. He talks about other things. He had a guy from some guy up in another local area, and he talked on the radio to his child on there. Yeah, he introduces most of his child to the hobby. He gets questions out. He brings photos out every week about people's radios and which ones you don't go for and stuff. He also used some radios like the Cobra 2000 he actually had or something like that on his YouTube channel. CB Show and Tell. The guy is pretty recommended, pretty nice. I think he's introducing the hobby to his child and stuff like that. And he talks a lot about everything on his channel. The guy is pretty interested. And this is Mac. I recommend for all you guys out, for all our listeners out there, check out CB Show and Tell on YouTube. Look it up. He's a guy with a son who introduces his hobby. He does a YouTube channel every once a week and stuff like that. I've seen a lot of it. He'll tell you lots about CB radios and use and stuff like that. But even that way, just like I said to you, Johnny, this is Mick, and I'm talking about, I recommend anyone get a radio, get an FRS, get something like that, or a CB or a ham, but start on CB and start on FRS first once you get good at it. Then you work it up to your ham license when you're for your ham. So once you do that. So this is Mac, and I'm telling you, Johnny, so I bring it back to you, Johnny. Yeah, this is Johnny. Yeah. It's pretty interesting about that, Mac. I recommend everybody get a CB radio and ham radio because you don't know when hard times is going to happen soon in the near future. If your cell phones do go down, or if you're in a natural disaster or something like that, if you don't have a cell phone or anything like that, or what's happening if we get one of those solar storms in the world or something like that, if everything got knocked out and we can use one of these. So this is the Johnny and Mac radio show. We're broadcasting out of here, out in the Wasatch Front, up in northern in the Utah basic area, right out of Layton, Clearfield, Salt Lake, and parts all the way going all the way past Logan and all those areas in northern Utah. And we say shouts out to all the people around the world. If anybody's listening outside the state of Utah, we say shouts out to you. And this is our radio show. And have a wonderful day, and a great afternoon, and a great evening. And thanks for today. Today's December 19th, 2018. And we're bringing it back to our local station.